Hello everyone. Welcome to the Blockchain News Club's Bitcoin edition. Let's take a brief intro into today's crypto updates before going into the details. Robert Kiyosaki has made some bleak predictions about the economic outlook, as he praised gold, silver, and Bitcoin as alternatives to the United States dollar. Cryptocurrencies are making inroads when it comes to their usability in Brazil. Banco do Brasil, one of the oldest banks in Brazil, and in part owned by the Brazilian government, has added the option for Brazilians to pay state taxes with cryptocurrencies. At block height 776,339, nodes across the network verified a completely empty block. The block was added to the Bitcoin blockchain with zero included transactions. The number of non-zero Bitcoin addresses to a new all-time high of 44 million, according to crypto analytics platform Glassnode. Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies fell Monday as regulatory pressures continued to weigh on digital asset prices. But Tuesday could see a different type of surprise for cryptos. Before we dive deep into today's updates, please subscribe to our Blockchain News Club channel. It will help us immensely. Our Kiyosaki warns giant crash coming, says Bitcoin to reach $500,000 by 2025 due to USD mistrust. Best-selling author of the personal finance book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, has made some gloomy forecasts about the future of the economy and advocated for the use of gold, silver, and Bitcoin as alternatives to the US currency. To counteract the huge crash coming and depression possible predictions, Kiyosaki tweeted on February 13 that the Federal Reserve had been forced to produce billions in false money, a reference to the United States dollar. However, by 2025 he predicted that gold would cost $5,000 per ounce, silver would cost $500, and Bitcoin would cost $500,000 as confidence in the US dollar, phony money, will be annihilated. Finally, he talked about how Bitcoin is the people's dollar while gold and silver are God's money. This best-selling author and successful businessman is a vocal opponent of the US and global fiat currency systems and has previously predicted a rocky landing for economies everywhere. He had previously reaffirmed his prior advice that investors should shun paper money and instead focus on buying precious metals like gold, which he anticipated would rally in the coming months due to the buildup by central banks. Kiyosaki included Bitcoin in his list of the 3 hottest subjects on Earth along with silver and gold, called Bitcoin people's money, and said that the cryptocurrency's strong January gain was due to the rising demand for alternative investment products. Brazilians will be able to pay taxes with crypto. Increased acceptance of cryptocurrency use in Brazil. Brazil's oldest bank, Banco do Brasil, which is partially owned by the government, now accepts cryptocurrency payments for state taxes. Bitfee, a cryptocurrency payments processor, is being used as a go-between by the bank to make these transactions, so it would appear. A first of its type, the company claims that using blockchain technology will improve public processes and increase trust in government. Lucas Schoch, CEO and founder of Bitfee, stated, "We will drive the adoption of the new DeFi economy, developing the necessary infrastructure to increase autonomy and democratize the use and access to the digital asset ecosystem throughout Brazil." Banco do Brasil invested in Bitfee in November so that it could add tokenization and payment services to its offerings, and now Bitfee has announced which cryptocurrencies it will accept. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Decentraland, Chainlink, Algorand, Solana, Ripple, Polkadot, Avalanche, Dash, and Binance Coin are just some of the cryptocurrencies that may be stored in the app's wallet and accessed from there. Bitfee's partnerships with various government agencies have made this possible, allowing the company to offer its tax payment services to a far larger customer base across the country. Taxes can be paid with this tool by entering a payment number or scanning a barcode, at which point Bitfly will promptly execute the payment, exchanging the cryptocurrency into Brazilian reals, and remitting the funds to the appropriate authorities. The news is significant because it follows the recent approval of a cryptocurrency law in Brazil, which paves the way for the widespread adoption of these assets across the country's financial sector. As part of its growth initiative in LATAM, Binance has announced the introduction of a prepaid crypto card in January. Empty Bitcoin block found. Bitcoin has gained notoriety for its reliability, safety, and dependability. On average, a new block is added to the blockchain every 10 minutes, with the successful miner receiving 6.25 Bitcoin as a reward. However, the Bitcoin blockchain occasionally throws a curveball at onlookers and users. When the network reached block height 776,339, all nodes confirmed that it was empty. There was great consternation in the crypto world after the block was put to the Bitcoin blockchain but included no transactions. Where does this empty block come from, exactly? First, while it may seem unusual at first glance, A network with a lot of empty blocks is actually quite common. Block 774,486 was the last location where this happened, just over 2 weeks ago. Blocks are mined in order of their difficulty, and miners are incentivized to mine them as rapidly as possible, even if they haven't yet received any transactions to include in the block. Because of this, the space in the block will not be filled. A fuller explanation can be found in the Bitcoin mempool, the central hub for blockchain research. So that miners may immediately begin looking for the next block when a new one has been discovered, mining pools typically distribute a blank block template to miners. Subsequently, they transmit a block template including all of the confirmed transactions. However, this is a more substantial data transfer, so it may take a little longer to reach the miners. In this intervening time, which is usually no more than 1 to 2 seconds, miners sometimes get lucky and find a new block using the empty block template. The miners effectively lucked out by mining a template. The 776,389th Bitcoin block was added to the blockchain just seconds after the 776,488th block. When fees were included in, however, block 776,388 made an additional 0.086 BTC, or $1,854. This was in addition to the 6.25 BTC, or $135,247, that was originally awarded for the block. Even when there are no transactions in an empty block, the miner still gets the newly produced Bitcoin as part of the block reward. Thus, no fees were taken out of the 6.25 BTC reward for block 776,389. The winning miner, Binance Pool, is responsible for as much as 12% of the network's hashing power. There is no need to worry about the network being affected by empty blocks. However, miners still generate the coin creation transaction for Bitcoin by mining empty blocks, which keeps the network on track to issue exactly 21 million Bitcoins. According to BitInfo charts, the average percentage of empty blocks across the network is between 1% and 2%. The growth of ordinals on Bitcoin, that is, the capacity to permanently carve pictures, data, and stamps onto the blockchain, makes the statistic all the more unexpected now. There has been substantial confusion and even fear expressed by Bitcoin users due to the increase in ordinals, and the first cases of pornography have lately been reported. As more and more JPEG fans try to add their work to the Bitcoin blockchain, the mempool has become increasingly crowded and block space has become contested. Bitcoin hits record 44M non-zero addresses, thanks to ordinals. Glassnode, a blockchain intelligence platform, reports that the number of non-zero Bitcoin addresses has reached an all-time high of 44 million with the release of Bitcoin NFTs, also known as ordinals. Glassnode released a study on Bitcoin's network activity on February 13 that revealed how, for the first time in Bitcoin's 14-year history, some of the network's activity is being used for things other than peer-to-peer monetary BTC transfers. This is a new and unique moment in Bitcoin history, where an innovation is generating network activity without a classical transfer of coin volume for monetary purposes. According to Glassnode, a large number of new active users who have a balance greater than 0 BTC have recently joined the network because of the ordinals boom. According to Glassnode, the primary source of this activity is due to ordinals, which instead of carrying a high payload of coin volume, are instead carrying a larger payload of data and new active users. As a result of use beyond the conventional investment and monetary transfer use cases, the user base has grown, the report says. Despite Glassnode's claim that ordinals' entry into the market for block space demand has created upward pressure on the fee market, Bitcoin transaction costs have not increased noticeably. Since ordinals went live on January 21, Glassnode reports that the median size of a Bitcoin block has climbed from 1.5 to 2.0 megabytes to 3.0 to 3.5 megabytes in just a few weeks. But this hasn't translated to a rise in prices yet. Glassnode noted that, since ordinals made their impact on January 21, a new lower bound transaction fee necessary for block inclusion has been attained, despite some temporary surges. With the implementation of the Taproot soft fork in November 2021, the technology that supports the ordinal protocol became feasible. On January 21, Bitcoin ordinals went live. The ordinals numbering method allows users to designate any data to satoshis, the smallest unit of Bitcoin, allowing for the inscription of Bitcoin native, NFT-like graphics. Over 78,400 photos and movies that resemble NFTs have been logged thus far. Still, the NFT-like pictures' influence on Bitcoin hasn't been without debate. Several prominent Bitcoiners, including Blockstream's CEO Adam Back, have lately spoken out against the ordinals protocol, arguing that it undermines Bitcoin's original intent as a decentralized electronic cash system. Others, though, have been more receptive to the concept. Ordinals, according to Bitcoin optimist Dan Held, add new financial use cases to Bitcoin. Bitcoin falls. Regulatory fears remain in focus. On Monday, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies slumped as regulatory pressures continued to dampen demand for digital assets. However, significant macroeconomic data is anticipated to be the next major catalyst for markets on Tuesday, which could bring a new kind of surprise for cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin's value dropped 1.5% in 24 hours, reaching $21,550. The largest digital asset has fallen since last week, changing hands below the trading range of $23,000 that had dominated for weeks. This comes after a 40% year-to-date advance that has revitalized crypto markets. Late last week, as concerns about a governmental crackdown in the United States grew, Bitcoin began its latest drop. Kraken, a cryptocurrency exchange, agreed to cease its staking business and pay a $30 million fine to settle allegations brought against it by the Securities and Exchange Commission last Thursday. Ethereum and other blockchains rely heavily on the staking mechanism, which not only helps the network's function but also allows token holders to receive yield and is a significant source of revenue for exchanges. This Monday brought the latest blow. As a result of an order from the New York Department of Financial Services, the American cryptocurrency company Paxos said that it would sever ties with Binance, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, and put an end to the creation of the Binance USD stablecoin. Key to the functioning of cryptocurrency markets, stablecoins serve both an entry point for new investors into the digital asset market and a major source of liquidity for existing holdings. With a market cap of over $16 billion, the BUS stablecoin is the third largest after Tether and USD Coin. Yuya Hasegawa, an analyst at cryptocurrency exchange Bitbank, has stated that stablecoins have been crypto's cornerstone for liquidity in recent years, with BUS ranking as the third largest stablecoin by market value and third most traded token. The potential threat to BUS might, needless to say, alter the stablecoin environment and the trading habits of their users. Cryptocurrency prices will be very sensitive to regulatory updates, but the U.S. Consumer Price Index data anticipated on Tuesday is likely to have a greater impact on short-term fluctuations. Due to its continued sensitivity to macro developments on inflation, interest rates, and recession risks, Bitcoin and its peers continue to exhibit a high correlation to stocks, moving up and down in tandem with the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500. Inflation statistics released on Tuesday will be scrutinized closely as traders continue to adjust their projections for future rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. Bitcoin, according to Bitbank's Hasegawa, will be put to the test once more this week when the January US CPI is released. There is still a chance that Bitcoin's price may fall, and it's possible that it could dip below the $20,000 support level in the near future. Some of last week's drop might be recovered if the CPI continues to slow in January, but it's best to wait for more information first. The vast majority of the altcoin market was in the red on Monday, with only a handful of tokens posting slight gains, while many projects suffered double-digit declines and the total cryptocurrency market cap fell back below $1 trillion. The biggest gainer on the day was Binance, which climbed 11.55% to trade at $169.70, followed by a 10% gain for Maker and a 9.1% gain for Curve DAO token. The overall cryptocurrency market cap now stands at $997 billion, and Bitcoin's dominance rate is 41.8%. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates in the blockchain community.